Shaymin Land would have made so much better of a grass starter than a mythical Pokemon. We're rating them all, and okay, in battle, that's obviously not the case, as it has the typical Mew-like mythical stat spread of an even 100s in every stat. But as we've said before, that's really good, but not amazing. Pure Grass also isn't the best typing, it has a lot of weaknesses, but a fair amount of resistances. Though, like a lot of grass types, it is just a pain to get rid of with all of its recovery. It has Leech Seed Synthesis and Giga Drain. But in Gen 4, it's kind of a one-trick pony. The only coverage it gets at all is Psychic. Then it gets Dazzling Gleam in Gen 8, which is great for sure, but it's really surprisingly limited to what it can do, even if it does it well. 4 stars. And this is another case of locking Pokemon behind the limited time real world events was a ridiculously horrible decision. If you didn't get Shaymin during those events either 16 years or 3 years ago, you can't get it. 0 stars in availability. And it kind of takes on a very similar role to Celebi in the Forests of Johto. It heals ruined landscapes into lush fields of flowers, and it otherwise seems to be pretty clearly based on a Hedgehog or Chia Pet, which once again, this would have made for a really cool grass type starter with its ties to the whole gratitude and gifting flowers thing. But regardless, it's cool, nice idea, 4 stars. But design is probably the main reason why I say this should have been a grass starter instead. You can't look at this design and tell me this doesn't fit perfectly with the other first stage grass starters. And honestly, even its Sky form works perfectly as a middle stage. Everyone tag Pokedex fillers and other artists so we can get a final evolution going. But anyway, yeah, Shaymin is absolutely adorable. Its tiny little round hedgehog body with the leaves instead of quills and the big pink flower adds just the right amount of contrast and detail. Fantastic, adorable design, honestly, 5 stars. But alas, this still gives Shaymin the final score of 3.25 stars overall and a spot on the Legends bottom 5. Shaymin Sky would have been a perfect middle stage grass starter. Someone please draw the final stage. We're rating them all, and I know that it has the same base stat total as the land form, but I think that the stat distribution is much better. 127 speed and 120 special attack is fantastic, and it's still bulky enough, but its typing is absolutely worse. Sadly, grass flying is just not a good type. Sure, it gets an immunity to something it resisted anyway, but now it adds the infamous 4 times ice weakness. Its move pool still has the great recovery moves and is more or less the same, but it does trade out Aromatherapy and Healing Wish for the much better and much needed Leaf Storm and Air Slash for coverage. Still not quite 5 stars, but definitely better. 4.5 stars in battle prowess. But we can cut availability short. Its land form just straight up isn't available anymore, so obviously Sky form isn't going to be either. 0 stars. I do really like the idea behind Shaymin Sky. Its land form was more or less a little hedgehog Chia Pet that healed and restored fields of flowers, of which it used to hide in. Then when it finds a specific flower, it transforms into an almost jackalope type creature, gaining the ability to fly and the confidence that comes along with it, adding on some almost superhero-esque aspects in the process, which is exactly what Shaymin needed to be more interesting and unique. 4.5 stars. Then in design, it's obviously not as cute as landform Shaymin. I'm sticking to it here. It would have been a much better first stage grass starter than a mythical Pokemon. And then honestly, Skyform also just fits perfectly in as one of those more confident but still adolescent looking middle stage evolutions. Now that's not the case. Obviously it's a mythical, but even still, it's a really cool looking Pokemon with the superhero boots and gloves, the handkerchief scarf thing that is also sometimes used in those types of characters, then the ears and hair taking a sharper and maybe even more masculine appearance. I think it takes all of the really cute aspects of land and just makes them cool instead. And it works. 5 stars. But these mythicals can't escape availability jail. It gets a decent 3.5 stars overall, but still lands in the Legends bottom 5.